The airport is bustling with energy, travelers rushing to their gates, families saying tearful goodbyes, and announcements echoing overhead. Elon Musk strolls through the terminal, a backpack slung casually over one shoulder. He's not flying in first class today, nor is he using a private jet. Today, he's flying commercial. He had decided to take a less conspicuous approach, wanting to blend in with ordinary travelers and see how people interact when they don't realize they're sharing space with a billionaire. He's dressed simply in jeans, sneakers, and a plain black hoodie, but there's one detail that stands out: a bright red cap with "Make America Great Again" emblazoned across the front. The hat isn't a political statement for Elon, it's more of a social experiment. He wants to see how people react to a symbol so loaded with meaning, whether they'll judge him without knowing who he is or what he stands for. As Elon waits in line at security, he notices a few people glancing his way, whispering to each other. He catches snippets of their conversation. Is that Elon Musk? No way he'd wear that hat. He's probably doing it for attention. Elon keeps his expression neutral, accustomed to being a subject of speculation. He places his belongings on the conveyor belt and steps through the metal detector. As he gathers his things on the other side, a uniformed security officer approaches him. "Excuse me, sir," the officer says, his tone firm. "Can you step aside for a moment?" Elon raises an eyebrow but complies, stepping out of the flow of passengers. "Is there a problem?" The officer, whose name tag reads Williams, looks him up and down. "We've received complaints about you. Some passengers feel uncomfortable with your attire." Elon blinks. "My attire? You mean the hat?" Williams nods. "Yes, sir. The hat. It's causing a disturbance." Elon takes a deep breath, keeping his voice calm. "It's just a hat. It doesn't define who I am or what I believe. But if it's causing such a problem, I'm happy to address it." Before Williams can respond, a woman in the crowd speaks up loudly. "How could someone like you wear that? Don't you realize what it represents?" Elon turns to her, his gaze steady. "What does it represent to you?" "It represents division, hate, and everything wrong with this country," she snaps. Elon nods slowly. "I understand why you might feel that way. Symbols can be powerful, but they can also mean different things to different people. For me, this hat is just a test, a way to see how people treat each other based on appearances." The woman glares at him but doesn't respond. The crowd around them grows larger, whispers turning into murmurs. Williams clears his throat, clearly uncomfortable with the growing tension. "Mr. Musk, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the airport. This is becoming a security issue." Elon looks at him, surprised but not angry. "You're asking me to leave for wearing a hat?" "It's about maintaining peace and safety," Williams says, his tone defensive. Elon pauses, then nods. "All right, if that's what you think is best." As he picks up his belongings and prepares to leave, a child's voice cuts through the tension. "Mommy, why is everyone being so mean to him?" Elon looks toward the source of the voice and sees a young girl clutching her mother's hand, her wide eyes filled with confusion. He offers her a small smile, feeling a pang of sadness at the innocence lost in moments like these. He turns back to Williams. "I'll leave, but before I go, can I say something to everyone here?" Williams hesitates, then nods. "Make it quick." Elon steps forward, addressing the crowd. "It's easy to judge someone based on how they look or what they wear. But kindness doesn't come from agreeing with everyone. It comes from understanding each other, even when we disagree. If we spend less time making assumptions and more time listening, maybe we'll find that we have more in common than we think." The crowd is silent, the tension easing slightly. Elon nods to Williams and starts walking toward the exit. As he does, he can't help but wonder what kind of ripple effect this moment might have. Elon Musk walks briskly toward the exit, his backpack slung over one shoulder and his infamous red hat still perched firmly on his head. He can feel the stares of passengers and airport staff alike. Though he outwardly exudes calm, he feels a pang of disappointment. He hadn't expected his small social experiment to escalate so quickly. Before he reaches the exit, he hears a voice behind him, firm and commanding. "Sir, stop right there." He turns to see another airport security officer approaching, a stocky man with a stern expression. His badge reads O'Malley. "I've been informed you're causing a disturbance," O'Malley says, crossing his arms. "I'm not causing a disturbance," Elon replies evenly. "I'm walking out, as requested." "Not fast enough," O'Malley says, stepping closer. "People are still talking about you. The sooner you leave, the better." Elon suppresses a sigh. He glances at the crowd that is partially dispersed but still lingers, watching the interaction with fascination. Among them is the young girl who had spoken earlier. She's holding her mother's hand tightly, her curious eyes locked on him. Feeling the weight of the moment, Elon looks back at O'Malley. "I'm happy to leave, but this isn't the way we should treat each other. I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm here to understand." "Understand what?" O'Malley asks, his tone skeptical. "Why we're so quick to turn on each other," Elon says, his voice soft but resolute. "Why a simple hat can make people assume the worst about someone they don't even know." O'Malley hesitates, his stern expression faltering for a moment, but before he can respond, the woman from earlier, the one who had criticized Elon's hat, steps forward again. "You don't get it, do you?" she says, her voice tinged with frustration. "That hat isn't just a hat. It represents everything people are afraid of, everything that's wrong with this country." Elon meets her gaze, unflinching. "And what if it didn't? What if, instead of assuming the worst, we ask questions and try to understand each other? What if we focused on what we can do to make things better instead of tearing each other down?" The woman looks taken aback, as if she hadn't expected such a thoughtful response. The crowd around them grows quieter, their attention fully on Elon. "Kindness is a choice," Elon continues, his voice carrying over the subdued chatter. "It doesn't mean agreeing with everyone or pretending differences don't exist. It means treating each other with respect, even when we disagree. That's the only way we'll move forward." The young girl tugs on her mother's sleeve and whispers something. Her mother leans down to listen, then straightens up and addresses Elon. "She wants to know why you're wearing the hat if it causes so much trouble." Elon crouches slightly to meet the girl's eyes, his tone gentle. "Sometimes people wear things to start conversations, not because they want to make people angry, but because they want to learn how people feel. Does that make sense?" The girl nods slowly, though her expression remains thoughtful. Elon straightens up and looks at the crowd. "I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but I also think it's important to have these conversations, to remind ourselves that we're all human and we're all trying to do what we think is best." For a moment, there's silence. Then someone in the crowd murmurs, "He's got a point." O'Malley shifts uncomfortably, clearly unsure of how to handle the situation. "Look, Mr. Musk, I don't know what you're trying to prove here, but you're still causing a disruption. You need to leave." Elon nods, his expression calm. "I understand, but I hope this moment has given everyone something to think about." As he turns to leave again, a man in the crowd steps forward. "Wait," he says, his voice firm but kind. "You don't have to go. This is ridiculous. He hasn't done anything wrong." Elon pauses, surprised. He turns back to see the man, middle-aged, wearing a business suit, facing O'Malley. "We're at an airport, for crying out loud," the man continues. "People from all walks of life, all beliefs, pass through here every day. If we start kicking people out because of a hat, what kind of message are we sending?" O'Malley hesitates, clearly conflicted. The murmurs in the crowd grow louder, and it's clear that opinions are beginning to shift. Elon watches the scene unfold, a small smile playing on his lips. He hadn't planned for any of this, but it's clear that his message is resonating. The mother of the young girl steps forward as well. "He's right," she says. "We're better than this." O'Malley exhales sharply, then waves a hand. "Fine, just keep moving, Musk. No more speeches." Elon chuckles softly. "Fair enough." As he walks away, the crowd begins to disperse, their expressions ranging from thoughtful to inspired. Elon glances over his shoulder one last time, catching the young girl's eye. She waves at him, and he waves back, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Elon Musk continues through the airport, weaving his way toward the terminal exit. Though the crowd has largely dispersed, he feels the weight of the encounter lingering in the air. His hat, once an unremarkable item in his eyes, has taken on a new significance. It's no longer just a part of his casual experiment. It's a catalyst for reflection, both for himself and the people around him. He passes a row of shops and food kiosks, noting how some travelers avoid eye contact while others glance at him with curiosity. Elon doesn't let it bother him. He's always been a polarizing figure, and he's learned to navigate the complexities of public opinion with a thick skin and an open mind. As he nears the exit, a familiar voice calls out behind him. "Mr. Musk, wait." He turns to see the young girl's mother jogging toward him, her daughter in tow. The little girl clutches a stuffed bunny in one hand, her expression a mix of shyness and determination. Elon stops and waits for them to catch up. "Everything okay?" he asks, his tone warm. The mother hesitates for a moment before speaking. "I just wanted to say thank you for what you said back there. I didn't agree with the hat at first, but you made me think. It's so easy to judge people without understanding their intentions." Elon nods. "I appreciate that. It's hard to step back and see things from another perspective, especially when emotions run high, but that's the only way we'll ever bridge the gaps between us." The little girl tugs on her mother's sleeve, prompting her to lean down. She whispers something, and the mother straightens with a small smile. "She wants to ask you something." Elon crouches slightly to meet the girl's eye level. "What's on your mind?" The girl fidgets with her stuffed bunny before speaking. "Why didn't you get mad when they were mean to you?" Elon smiles softly. "That's a good question. Getting mad might have felt good in the moment, but it wouldn't have helped anyone. Sometimes, when people are mean, it's because they're scared or upset about something else. Being kind can help them see things differently." The girl tilts her head, considering his words. "So being nice is better than being mad?" "Exactly," Elon says. "Kindness is like planting a seed. It might take time, but eventually it grows into something beautiful." The girl beams, clearly satisfied with his answer. Her mother places a hand on her shoulder, then looks back at Elon. "Thank you again. I think a lot of people learned something today, including me." Elon nods and straightens up. "Take care, both of you." As they walk away, Elon feels a small sense of accomplishment. Moments like these remind him why he's so passionate about creating a better future. Not just through technology, but through understanding and empathy. Before he can fully turn his focus back to leaving the airport, another voice interrupts his thoughts. "You think you're some kind of hero, don't you?" Elon looks up to see the woman who had confronted him earlier, standing a few feet away, her arms crossed. Though her tone is sharp, there's a hint of vulnerability in her expression. "I don't think I'm a hero," Elon replies calmly. "I'm just someone trying to make the world a little better." The woman scoffs but doesn't walk away. "You don't know what that hat means to people, the pain it brings up." Elon takes a step closer, his voice gentle. "You're right. I don't know your experiences, and I won't pretend to. But that's why we need to have these conversations. Not to argue, but to understand each other better." The woman hesitates, her expression softening slightly. It's hard to trust people these days. Everyone seems so divided." Elon nods. "It is hard, but that's all the more reason to lead with kindness. It's not about agreeing on everything. It's about finding common ground and building from there." For a moment, the woman says nothing. Then she sighs and extends her hand. "I'm sorry for how I acted earlier. You didn't deserve that." Elon shakes her hand, a genuine smile on his face. "Thank you. That means a lot." As the woman walks away, Elon finally reaches the airport exit. The cool breeze outside is a welcome contrast to the tension inside. He takes a deep breath, feeling a sense of clarity and purpose. He knows this encounter won't change the world overnight, but it's a step in the right direction. And sometimes, that's enough. Weeks later, the encounter at the airport is still on Elon Musk's mind. He sits in his office, a floor-to-ceiling window overlooking the bustling streets below. It's a quiet moment in an otherwise busy day, but his thoughts keep drifting back to the events of that day. The stares, the confrontation, the unexpected connections. He had expected the incident to be a small blip, but social media had other plans. A few travelers had recorded parts of the exchange, sharing videos online. The clips went viral, sparking heated debates. Some praised Elon's calm demeanor in message of kindness, while others criticized him for wearing the hat in the first place. Elon doesn't regret his decision. If anything, the response confirmed what he already knew. The world is hungry for kindness, even if it doesn't always know how to embrace it. A knock at the door pulls him from his thoughts. His assistant steps in, holding a tablet. Elon, you're going to want to see this. She places the tablet on his desk and presses play on a video. It's a news segment featuring the woman who had confronted him at the airport. I was angry, the woman admits, her voice filled with emotion. I judged him without knowing anything about him. But when he spoke about kindness and understanding, it made me stop and think. He wasn't trying to provoke anyone. He was trying to start a conversation. And that's something we all need to do more of. The video cuts to another person from the airport, a man who had initially sided with security. It's not about the hat, he says. It's about the message he shared. We've all gotten so used to shouting over each other that we've forgotten how to listen. Elon reminded us of that. Elon leans back in his chair, a faint smile on his lips. He hadn't set out to make headlines, but if his small experiment led even a handful of people to rethink their actions, it was worth it. His assistant clears her throat, bringing his attention back to the present. There's more. A lot of people have been reaching out. Letters, emails, social media posts. They're thanking you for what you said. Some are even sharing their own stories of trying to be kinder because of it. Elon nods, his smile growing. That's good to hear. Maybe it'll inspire others to keep the momentum going. The assistant hesitates before continuing. One more thing. There's a letter I think you should see. It's from a little girl. She hands Elon a handwritten note. The penmanship is messy but endearing, and Elon immediately recognizes the name signed at the bottom. It's the young girl from the airport. The letter reads, Dear Mr. Musk, thank you for being nice, even when people weren't nice to you. I told my friends at school what you said about planting kindness like a seed, and now we're trying to be nicer to each other. My mom says you're really smart, but I think you're also really kind. Thank you for teaching me that. Love, Emily. Elon folds the letter carefully, setting it down on his desk. His chest feels lighter, the weight of the past weeks replaced with a renewed sense of purpose. He looks out the window again, his mind racing with ideas. Maybe it's time to do more than just talk about kindness. Maybe it's time to build something, a platform, a program, a movement, to encourage people to practice empathy and understanding. Later that day, Elon announces a new initiative through the Musk Foundation, a program dedicated to promoting kindness and bridging divides through community outreach, education, and storytelling. The announcement garners widespread support, with people from all walks of life sharing their own stories of compassion and understanding. The backlash about the hat fades into the background, replaced by a narrative of hope and unity. Elon knows it won't solve every problem, but it's a step in the right direction. Months later, he receives another letter from Emily, along with a photo of her and her friends planting a tree in their schoolyard. The note is simple but powerful. We're planting seeds, just like you said. Elon pins the photo on his office wall, a constant reminder of the ripple effects of kindness. Sometimes it starts with something as small as a conversation or a hat and grows into something much bigger. And in a world so often divided, that growth is worth every effort.